And we are all set.
Just a few seconds more. Okay, I'd like to call the Human Resources and Public Works Committee meeting to order. This time, I'd like to report that I'm in Mount Pleasant. I'm Commissioner Marino. I'm participating from my home in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, Isabella County.
Commissioner Hutchinson reporting from my home in Nottawa Township, Isabella County.
Commissioner Jim Horton reporting from my office in Big Rapids, Michigan, Nakasta County.
Thank you. Okay, I'd like to call to the public. Do we have any public, Michelle?
We have no public at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Okay, that being the case, we'll get to our first item, which is consider approving the grant application requesting funds from the Mount Pleasant Area Community Foundation in the amount of $15,000 for the Chippewa River Erosion and Canoe Launch Project and authorize the board chair to sign the same. Seems like an increased cost of materials issue, right, Sue Ann?
Absolutely, absolutely. We are having to rebid this project. And the amount of the bid, the one bid that was a qualified bidder came up way more than we anticipated. And after review with Spicer, I mean, the feeling was it would be best if we rebid it, and because some of the costs were just higher than they should be for this, even for this time of higher costs. So what I decided was to to put in a request to the Mount Pleasant Area Community Foundation for additional funding to offset our cost. And prior to funding, or excuse me, requesting any funding from them, it's required to have the board chair sign a document authorizing the grant application, which is common now, it seems like, with a lot of grants that we do. So this is not, we did not receive the money, it's to apply for the funding at this time.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay, any questions or comments at this time? Seeing none, could we have a motion on this, please, Commissioner
Sure.
Hutchinson?
Consider approving the grant application requesting funds from the Mount Pleasant Area Community Foundation in the amount of $15,000 for the Chippewa River Erosion and Canoe Launch Project, authorizing the board chair to sign the same.
Support. It's been moved and supported to move the issue to the work and regular session of the County Commission next week. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. The ayes have it. The
Hey,
item.
Jim,
Yes.
I'm sorry. I do have one question.
Okay.
What type of time frame are we on, Sue Ann, with this?
Well, right now, Commissioner Hutchison, we plan on going out to bid the end of this year, early next, and having the bids come in during the winter and proceeding in the summer. We can't do this project as well in the spring just due to high water. So we're facing more of a June timeline that we have worked on just to do it the best time that we can. But good, very good question.
Thank you. Okay, as I said before, the item will be moved to the work and regular session of the County Commission next week. Thank you, Sue Ann. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving to our next item. Consider approving the grant agreement between the Michigan Department of Military and Veterans Affairs, Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency, and Isabella County in the amount of $75,000 for enhanced veteran service operations, and authorize the board chair to sign the same. We have Ian here today. Can you enlighten us on this, please?
Sure. The grant application originally went through the board and they approved it to obviously continued outreach from the County Veteran Service Fund grant. This is the actual contract from the state of Michigan, from the MVA, that they approved everything that we requested, the $75,000 to continued outreach. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Then I don't have anything else unless you have any other questions.
Is there any other questions or comments at this time regarding this issue? Margaret?
Yes, I'd like to just give a couple little comments. This grant was originally provided, I believe, 3 years ago, and was the first marketing grant that we received from them. Is that about accurate?
Correct. 2019.
And yes, so that marketing campaign, just so you know, we went out for RFPs and we selected King Media out of Lansing to develop the logo, the slogan, the materials, etc. I want you to know that King Media was awarded 2 international awards for that campaign. So I think it's quite an honor for them, obviously, and we were happy to be their test pilot, for lack of a better term. They are now working with other veterans organizations like ours across the state, and are developing kind of a statewide campaign that Ian will be thinking of joining next year rather than doing a separate campaign, so that veterans across the state would have kind of a similar way of realizing the services that are available to them. So it wouldn't be, if you cross this road, you're in this county. If you cross that highway, you're in this county. So I think that's very interesting. And I just wanted the board to know that. I know that there's been a question in the past about, well, how many more veterans are we serving than we served before that campaign? I think the issue with, marketing is hard to quantify sometimes with numbers. The issue is just to get the word out. That's the plan. And I think that plan, I'm sure all of you who are in the community, well, maybe not all of you, but many of you have seen the bus wraps on ICTC, saw the billboards when we were doing that, see the pens out. And now that some things are opening back up, Ian is having the opportunity to go to these outreach organizations and these outreach activities. He had a booth at the fair this year, and you saw a picture of that booth in my budget presentation. Those types of community opportunities to get out where there's hundreds of people coming by. If just 1 or 2 people contact the office and ask a question, that's a good outreach for us. So I just wanted to add that so that the committee would just have that background. Thank you.
You're muted, Mr. Chairman Reno.
Any more questions or comments regarding this item? Could I get a motion, please?
Sure. Make a motion to consider approving the grant application or the grant agreement between the Michigan Department of Military and Veterans Affairs, Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency, and Isabella County in the amount of $75,000 for enhanced veteran service operations, and authorize the board chair to sign the same.
Support. It's been moved and supported to move the item to the work and regular sessions of the county commission next week. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. The ayes carry. The motion will be forwarded to the next week's meetings. Thank you. And we have another veterans issue, and it is consider approving the bus advertising agreement with Wade Promotions LLC and Isabella County in the amount of $37,250 for the Isabella County Transportation Commission bus advertising, and authorize the board chair to sign the same. What do we have, Ian?
So this is actually part of the $75,000 grant agreement. So Wade Promotions was on top of things and got me a contract early, so make things a lot easier. Actually, one of our committee members, the Veterans Affairs Committee members, recommended taking pictures of the committee. So we're going to put the committee on a couple of bus wraps. Unfortunately, our entire committee couldn't be there that day for pictures, so it's only 4 of the 5. So we're going to have some local community veterans on the bus wraps going around town. You'll see that. So we'll probably do that more in the future. Probably get rid of some of the canned pictures that we use in the past in the beginning. I mean, that was nice to have those. We'll probably move towards more getting people who can come forward, maybe volunteer and put their big giant face on the side of a bus or a billboard. So these are the veterans of your community. Clare County actually did it. I think some other communities have done it. So I think that's probably a good idea. So anyways, yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead, Margaret.
Mr. Chair, I'd just like to add, if we're going to use actual members of our community, we're going to have to get them to sign off on that so that they have given their approval and their authority for us to use their likeness.
Okay.
So the reason marketing firms use the likenesses of professionals is because they're hired to do that. That's what they do, and they take care of that. So Ian, you might want to get with me today or tomorrow after the meeting, and I'm going to need to get with it's not a huge hurdle.
Okay.
It's a little bump, but I'm going to need to get with our legal counsel and have them draft something for us so that they are waiving that we're not paying them for that and that we have their approval to do that.
Understood. My apologies for not thinking of that. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
No problem.
Yep.
We'll take care of it.
I appreciate that.
Okay, any other comments or questions on this issue? No, seeing none, could I have a motion on it, please?
Consider approving the bus advertisement agreement with Wade Promotion LLC and Isabella County in the amount of $37,250 for the Isabella County Transportation Commission ICTC bus advertising, and authorized board chair to sign the same.
Support. It's been moved and supported to forward the issue to the work session and regular session next week. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. The ayes carry. The item will be forwarded. Okay, thank you, Ian.
Thank you.
We'll
Thank
move
you
to
very
our
much.
next issue. Okay, the next item is consider approving the FY 2022 Isabella County County Commission on Aging Nutrition Site Agreements for congregate meal sites with Shepherd United Methodist Church at the rate of $150 per month, Fremont Township Wynn Community Building at the rate of $300 per month, Rosebush Manor at the rate of $90 per month, and Sherman Township Wademan at the rate of $250 per month, and authorize the board chair to sign the same. And we have our Director of Commission on Aging, Jen Crawford, here to explain this to us, please.
So as far as the meal site contracts, this is just renewing the existing contracts that we have right now. The rates have not changed at all, actually, since I've been working with the Commission on Aging. So they were negotiated with each of the municipalities quite a while ago. But this just allows us to utilize their facilities to hold our congregate meal sites so that we can have satellite sites throughout our county, in addition to our main meal site at the Commission on Aging. So we're Wademan, Rosebush, Wynn, and Shepherd in addition to our site. And so all of our sites as of yesterday are up and going. So we're really excited about that. So we are providing congregate meals in all of our satellite locations. So again, these contracts would just allow us to continue to do that in the next fiscal year.
Jen, I just have one question on Rosebush. How come it's so much less than the others?
The only thing I can think of is it is an assisted living program already. And they're actually the ones that we just started. They just had us come back starting yesterday. But it is an existing assisted living program. And so I would imagine for them, it's, we're not taking up too much of their space or using as much utilities as we would at the other facilities where we take over the whole facility.
Got it. Thank you. Any other questions or comments on this issue? Seeing none, Commissioner Hutchinson, could I get a
Sure.
motion, please?
Consider approving the fiscal year 2021 Isabella County Commission on Aging Nutrition Site Agreement for congregate meal sites with Shepherd United Methodist Church at the rate of $150 per month, Freeman Township Wynn Community Building at the rate of $300 per month, Rosebush Manor at the rate of $90 per month, and Sherman Township Wademan at the rate of $250 per month and authorize the board chair to sign the same
for fiscal year 2022.
for fiscal year 2022.
Thank you. Support. It's been moved and supported to move item 7 to the work and regular session of the county commission next week. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. The motion carries. This item will be moved to the work and regular session of the county commission next week. Thank you. And we have another one here. Item 8 is consider approving Region 7 Area Agency on Aging purchase of service provider agreement addendum M dash COVID-19 premium pay for in-house providers funding sources 801, 202, and 992 and authorize the board chair to sign the same. Could you unfold this for us, please, Jen?
Absolutely. And just one correction,
Yeah.
the agenda, it is addendum N, not M, which I just caught
Oh,
that, just as you were
okay.
reading it. But the staff report and the contract both say are N. So we've already done addendum M. We've had quite a few addendums to this agreement this year. So one more. So this is actually an addendum to our existing waiver or purchase of service agreement that we have with Region 7 Area Agency on Aging. And so this premium pay through the end of this one goes back from March through the end of the fiscal year. So we would be going back, but this allows premium pay on supplemental funds that they receive. So they do have some other funding streams that we're able to utilize if we use up our contract numbers, which we are now starting to utilize these funds. And so with this, there's a fund called the Tobacco Settlement. It's a respite fund. And so we're able to now provide premium pay to our staff who are providing service to clients when we're utilizing those supplemental funds. So this allows us to do that and go back and provide that premium pay for those services as well.
Great. Any questions on this? Okay. Could I get a
Yep.
motion, please?
Motion to consider approving Region 7 Area Agency on Aging purchase of service provider agreement addendum M COVID-19
And addendum N.
a COVID-19 premium pay for the in-home providers funding sources 801, 202, 992, and authorized board chair to sign the same.
Support. It's been moved and supported to move item 7 to item 8 to the work and regular session of the county commission's next week's meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. The ayes carry. Item 8 will be forwarded to the work and regular session of the county commission. Okay, next item is review and assess the semi-annual 2% application from Isabella County Commission on Aging requesting $514,348 for programs and services. Could we get some information on this, please, Jen?
Absolutely. So this is the exact same application that we submitted in the spring. That was a request to the Commission on Aging from the tribe years ago, asking us to submit the same one in the same year for both the distribution, so for spring and fall. So this is the second round of this application going forward for fiscal year 21. We have requested the $514,348 total. Since November 1995 is when we received our first 2% distribution, and the Commission on Aging has received over $9 million in that time frame. We are so just the gratitude that we have for the tribe is unbelievable. They have been so gracious to us as far as their giving. And with the funding that we do receive from the tribe, it does not go towards any administrative costs at all. It goes towards direct services. So our applications are a complete, we work together, collaboration of all of our managers. So it represents the entire Commission on Aging. So all 5 of our programs are a part of this application. And when we do receive funding, the funding is distributed through all of them, representative of what they ask for within the application. So we're very thankful, so appreciative of the support from the tribe. And so we're hoping that you'll allow us to submit this one again for this fall.
Okay, Any questions or comments at this time?
Chairman Moreno, I have a question for
Go ahead.
Jen. I think you touched on it I think your last statement touched on my question. I know we're asking for 514,000 and I believe you said you spread it out like the percentages of the dollar amounts. So I think you did answer that. So you just break it down by whatever. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I just allocate a percentage to each of our programs based on what they do ask of the application and apply that to whatever funding we do receive.
Yeah, it's nice seeing, I like the way it's laid out too. It kind of goes over everything. The Commission on Aging is kind of a snapshot of what some of the programs, and it really lays it out really well, I think. So thank you for that too.
Thank you.
Any more questions or comments at this time? Seeing none, could I get a motion, Commissioner Hutchinson, please?
Yeah, review and access the semi-annual 2% application from the Isabella County Commission on Aging for $514,348 for programs and services.
Okay, support. It's been moved and supported to move the item to the regular and work session of the County Commission next week. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. The ayes carry. Item 9 will be forwarded to the work and regular session next week of the County Commission. Thank you, Jen. Okay. The next item is review and assess the semi-annual 2% application from the Isabella County Central Michigan District Health Department requesting $14,756 for the continuation of water sampling and contamination investigation at Isabella beaches. And we have Steve King here from the Central Michigan District Health Department to break this down for us, right, Steve?
Yes, good morning. I'm Director of Environmental Health at the Health Department. This request represents represents 2 years of expenses. We have realized some cost savings by doing composite sampling at some of the beaches that qualify, and that's helped out with our ongoing expenses quite well. We actually have about 5 different grants covering our 6 counties, and we're extremely appreciative of this funding source to help us do all of the important beaches that people frequent. This year was interesting because of all the rainfall that occurred just before sampling dates. So we got some higher E. coli result this year compared to regular years. And in July, we had to post a beach up in Lake Isabella, and that resulted in several phone calls from local residents. And I remember one in particular, a lady who was going to take her grandkids out swimming and was concerned when she saw the posting. And so we discussed it, and anyway, it is good information for the public, and you can't look at the water and determine whether or not it's safe to swim in. It really does take that analysis at the lab to actually count the E. coli that's in the water. So again, we're very appreciative of this funding source to sample these Isabella beaches.
Certainly is a crucial and important service to the people and their health in this region, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. When the results come in, we post that on the state's website, Beach Guard, so that it is out there, or at least on the internet, for people that can access that. Our postings have links to that website where people can access it and get more information. And when we find out, we either contact, for Lake Isabella beaches, we'll talk with Tim Wolf up there. Other beaches will go out and post it ourselves. And if Tim can't post the beach locally, we'll go out and do that. And this year we were able to take follow-up samples to see if maybe the next day the water quality is better.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on this item? Go ahead, Margaret.
I would just, for the record, sir, I'm sorry, I'm Margaret McAvoy, I'm the Administrator Controller. I don't think we've met before, but for the record, could you state your name, please, so that we have it right in the minutes?
Yeah, I'm Steve King, Director of Environmental Health at Central Michigan District.
Well, I'm sorry, it says Steve King on the screen, but for somehow I was thinking of the director, so I apologize, Steve. I see that. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Chairman Marino?
go ahead, Chairman.
Yeah, Steve, thank you for that. Margaret, I think we served on the E. coli committee. Steve was on that. I don't know if you remember Steve on that. You look
Okay, Steve, yes, and you must have been promoted since that time, correct?
No, I've been director. Steve Hall, the
Right.
health officer, was on that committee as well.
Yeah.
And he couldn't attend today.
I was thinking of Scott, who was also on the committee from, I believe at the time.
Yep.
Yes.
And Scott is retired and is working again in Allegan County.
Good for him.
Steve, these when it says Isabella beaches, that just goes to the beaches. That doesn't do any of the testing, the E. coli other testing. That's just specifically money allocated just for the beaches. Is that correct?
That is correct. It's specific to Isabella County. Lake Isabella pays for half the cost of samples, so that is a savings, put toward sampling. We also have another grant that we were hoping to use this year that we could get extra samples at these beaches that are high in E. coli and do source tracking. And that's a separate pool of money. We didn't get those samples this year, but we're hopeful that we can follow through on that next year.
Thank you. That's all, Chairman Marino.
Okay. If there's no more questions or comments, could I get a motion, please, Commissioner Hutchinson?
Motion to review and access the semi-annual 2% application from the Isabella County, Central Michigan District Health Department requesting $14,756 for the continuation of water sampling and contamination investigation at Isabella beaches.
Support. It's been moved and supported to move item 10 to the work and regular session of the County Commission next 2 weeks from now. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. The ayes carry. The motion, the item number 10 will be sent to the work and regular session of the County Commission next week. Thank you, Steve King. Okay, we have another item on the last one. Review and assess the semi-annual 2% application from the Isabella County Material Recovery Facility requesting $100,000 for the recycling program. And we have Jake Borton here, Director, to break this down for us. Could you do that, please, Jake?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chairman Marino. In the past, I want to say that one of the biggest things, the support that we've received from the Saginaw Chippewa Indian Tribe and their 2% funding has been incredible. And we again are asking for funds to do some repairs on internal equipment. As you can see, with us adding a new the new scale, that moving forward, at some point we're looking to probably have to upgrade our computer program on that scale system. That is one of the things that this request will help deal with. Wire collection cages within the facility. We try to do the repairs that we can internally, but we're at the point where we do need to have some new cages replaced, or some of the old cages replaced with some new. Our glass crushers, as you can imagine, it's basically it looks like a big egg beater, but you're throwing glass in an egg beater that's going up against metal, continuously beating up the metal and puncturing holes in it, as you could see by some of the pictures that were attached to this. And then our magnetic the belt on our electromagnet is starting to get into some bad shape as well. So it's just general repairs that need to be done with inside the facility. And we try to put in for at least some kind of funding every year for every spring and every fall for the 2% request from the tribe. So
Pictures really bring it home. Jake.
Yeah.
Any questions or comments on this item at this time? Chairman Warren.
Question for Jake.
yes.
Jake, two things. First, every time I see your email address, I have to look at it twice because it's one letter off of mine. So it's like, whoa, wait a minute. And oh, that's Jake. But second thing is that my only question is not probably just me. It says, oh, where did I see that at? The request is being made, total request at $100,000, amount based on the itemized budget total. That's at the very top under overview. Then we got project name. Then we got total request $100,000, amount based on the itemized budget total. But when we drop down to the budget items, it's just $100,000 in the recycling. There really isn't an itemization list. Is that kind of following the intentions of the Commission on Aging that we just saw? Because they at least put dollar amounts to theirs. I don't see any, unless I'm missing it. I'm not seeing any dollar amounts attached to like what the scale program would be, or estimated, or wire collection costs, or glass crusher. So it's not really an itemized list. It's more so like a total list. I don't know if that's that. Again, that's just me. Might be just semantics, but it's not really an itemized list we're giving them. It's just a dollar amount.
Normally, Commissioner, I usually break down everything per dollar item, each individual item, and I try to get significant local businesses to quote this material. But with every business in the area, including ourselves being so short-handed staff-wise, trying to prioritize all of that was not something that was able to happen this time around. It is by far more significant by attaching or adding, an invoicing or at least a quote from local businesses to be able to really signify the dollar figures on all of it. So this was something that just staffing wise, I was not able to get, an itemized breakout on it.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I think Chairman Horton's question might, I'm sorry, Mr. Moreno. I think it's a good question because it doesn't connect. So perhaps if we're not going to add an itemized list, we shouldn't refer to having one in the request. I think that, if you have some idea of what those items would cost, that would be maybe something we could chat about between now and Tuesday, whether we want to add that or not. But if we're not going to add something, I don't think we should refer to it in the request, because they'll, as Chairman Horton did, they will look for that.
Okay.
Chairman Horton, do you think that would address the concern? I mean, it'd be nice if we had the itemized list, but if we don't, I don't think we ought to refer to it.
My understanding over the years, and Chairman Moreno can also probably speak to this because he's been on the board longer. A lot of times they do like to see itemized. My impression is they like to see an itemized list because they like to show exactly what they're funding for. I know the Commission on Aging does what they do, and that's okay. Again, the MRF, they obviously, the funds are very, 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 like I said, very, can't say enough, very important to the operations there. But I think one of the things, my understanding is that it's not they don't like to cover like ongoing expenses, like push, show something that they're doing. Like the computer waste scale program, that's got to be highly necessary because we just spent in our last board meeting, we just purchased the scale. So I guess that's my only concern is if we're gonna, probably break it out as best you can. I mean, I don't think anybody's gonna hold you to having exact numbers on it. I mean, I guess when I say exact, I mean, like you said, there's a fluctuation ongoing in the market on all these things probably, but given a breakdown on it, I would probably do your best estimate that way. If there is something more over another one, that's just my impression. Again, I don't want to, get too involved here as far as that statement goes, but that would be my statement, so.
I think you're right, Chairman. And Jake, I really think here on the, and these are all online now, so, sometimes we have a hard time getting everything in that we want, but I know that you have the uploaded files. Do you have any idea of what these items could cost? I mean, as an estimate?
I'm going to say a rough estimate on the scale program is going to be somewhere between $30,000 and $40,000 on that program. Looking to be able to try and integrate something that could possibly go into BSNA as well. That way, the front staff can look at the ability to see what is invoiced and what needs to be invoiced. On some of the other things with cost fluctuation on steel and things of that nature, I would be at best a guess on them, but as to what some of the costs would be on them.
Why don't you and I chat offline, maybe this afternoon, and we can maybe get some. I mean, I do think that the chairperson's right. There needs to be some information, and it's okay if we're doing estimates. I think doing estimates is better than just not doing anything. So we can chat this afternoon.
Okay, with those considerations that were just enumerated, could we get a motion, please?
Motion to review and access the semi-annual 2% application from the Isabella County Material Recovery Facility requesting $100,000 for the recycling program.
Support. It's been moved and supported to move item 11 to the regular and work session of the county commission next week. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. The ayes carry. The item will be forwarded to the next regular and work session of the county commission. Okay. Thank you, Jake. Okay, at this time, does anybody have any comments or questions, concerns? Seeing none, I'll call to the public. Is there any public?
There is no public at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, I hope thanks everyone for being here and helping us out. Commissioner Horton?
No, I'm just waving goodbye.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to adjourn Human Resources Public Works Committee meeting. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone. Stay safe.
You too, everyone.